Talofa, Malale, Bula, and welcome to Season 5, Episode 31 of Breakfast Bites by TEIVOVOsports.com. A wrap of Pasifika Peoples sports on a bright and sunny Wednesday morning, 3rd May 2023. Coming to you with a squeaky voice from paradise on the 180th meridian in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. In Rugby Union, the interim administrator of the Fiji Rugby Union, lawyer in the Prime Minister's office, and the PM's nominee to the Fiji Rugby Union Board, Simone Valenitabua, is moving fast to whip the Fiji Rugby Union into shape so that staff morale remains high. So far, so good. All they need is a bit of time and lots of love from World Rugby. Lots of love because one of World Rugby's regulations says that it could suspend the Fiji Rugby Union if there is external interference in the national rugby body or in the game of rugby in any country. Time will tell. In Rugby League, NRL Magic Round 10 draw with all games at Suncorp Stadium starting on Friday. The Bulldogs versus the Canberra Raiders at 6 p.m. Manly Sea Eagles versus the Brisbane Broncos at 8:05 p.m. And on Saturday at 3 p.m. New Zealand Warriors versus the Penrith Panthers. At 5:30 p.m. Cronulla Sharks versus the Dolphins. And at 7:45 p.m. the Melbourne Storm versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. And on Sunday, West Tigers versus St. George Illawarra Dragons at 1:50 p.m. Sydney Roosters versus North Queensland Cowboys at 4 p.m. and the Gold Coast Titans versus Parramatta Eels at 6:25 p.m. all at Suncorp Stadium. In sports biz, FC Barcelona has greenlighted its US $1.6 billion massive renovation project for its Camp Nou Stadium. The Spanish football giants board agreed to financing it with 20 investors for the project, confirming that it will be able to repay all construction-related debts by 2047. In doing so, the club confirmed that it didn't use any team assets as a guarantee or take out a mortgage on the stadium, using revenue generated from the renovated stadium and hosting games again to repay the debt, estimated by Raka to be US $271 million annually. In football, speaking at a World Trade Organization meeting in Geneva, FIFA President Gianni Infantino says FIFA could refuse to sell TV rights to their Women's World Cup, set to kick off in Australia and New Zealand on 20 July, unless broadcasters in Europe and the UK increase their offers. He said the objective is to reach an equal pay situation, but broadcasters, especially public broadcasters, funded by taxpayers' money, should put the action behind their words. Infantino claims European broadcasters are only willing to pay between $800,000 and £8 million for broadcast rights, a tiny fraction of the £80 million to £160 million offered for the men's tournament. It is our moral and legal obligation not to undersell the Women's World Cup, he said. This is a slap in the face of all the great FIFA Women's World Cup players, and indeed of all women worldwide, Infantino said. And only in the USA, 3 punters were selected in this year's NFL draft, 2 in round 6 and 1 in round 7. Australian punter Lou Headley didn't hear his name called. At 29, his age counted against his chances, but he didn't have long to wait. Just hours after the 2023 NFL draft came to a close, the father of one and former tradie was taken as an undrafted free agent by the New Orleans Saints and will now fight to make their 53-man roster and a minimum payday of US $750,000 per annum. After one of the wildest journeys to American football's top flight from a small town of 400 people in Western Australia, Lou Headley is just getting started. In boxing, USA Boxing terminated its International Boxing Association membership last week ahead of the Men's World Boxing Championship in Uzbekistan. The championship is also being boycotted by teams including Britain, Canada and Ireland. If boxers from Samoa, Tonga and Fiji are going, their participation is likely fully funded by the IBA to help poorer third world nations, right? Hell yeah! For TEIVOVOsports.com, I'm Kalden Khmer. Mahalo, Vina'a and thank you. Please hit the subscribe button below if you'd like to receive more Pasifika sports highlights on Breakfast Bites. And thank you all too much for all your love and support.